Good morning, second graders. Today we are on page 11 of your student journal, page 11. And our goal today is, today I will equally partition rectangles into equal shares. So today I will equally partition. So remember, partition means to cut or to divide rectangles into equal shares. So I put equally twice because that's the very, very important concept, is that when we partition these rectangles, we have to do it as equal as possible. Okay, let's look at our vocabulary. Our first word says partition, to divide objects into equal shares. So it means they have to be divided equally. Then we have a rectangle, and then they give us an example of some equal shares. So this rectangle has been divided or partitioned into two equal shares. We call those halves, and they shaded one half. This rectangle has been partitioned into 1, 2, 3 equal shares, and we call those thirds. And they shaded in one of them, so 1/3 is shaded. And this rectangle has been partitioned into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal shares, and we call those fourths. And 1/4 has been shaded. Okay, so boys and girls, I'm going to get started on mine right away. Here's my first problem. And my first problem says, partition the rectangle into two equal shares. Two equal shares. Okay, and we call those halves. When it's two equal shares, we call the halves. So here they want me to partition it using two rows. So remember, rows are horizontal. So I'm going to use one line, and that gives me 1, 2 rows, and those are two equal shares or two halves. Okay, this time they want me to partition it using having two columns. So columns are vertical, they're up, down. So I'm going to draw one line, and now I have one column, two columns, but I have 1, 2 equal shares or two halves. Okay, this one's a little different. They want me to divide it diagonally. Diagonally means from one corner to the other. Now that doesn't look even, but if I was to cut this and put it on top of this, not fold it, but if I was to cut it, they would line up. So you're getting halves diagonally, and there's two equal shares. Okay, let's look at another one. Here's my next one, and this time it says, partition the rectangle into 3 equal shares. 3 equal shares are called thirds. We call them thirds. So here they want there to be 3 rows. Remember, rows are horizontal. So I'm going to draw 2 lines, and 2 lines gives me 1, 2, 3 rows. So I have 1, 2, 3 equal shares. Okay, here they want me to have 3 columns, and columns are vertical. So I'm going to do 1 here and 1 here. So I have 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, but I have 1, 2, 3 equal shares or 3 thirds. Okay, let's try some of these together, boys and girls. We're on page 12, and here's our first problem. It says, divide this rectangle into fourths by making 4 rows. Okay, and fourths means there's going to be 4, and rows are horizontal. So because it's 4 and that's an even number, I'm going to always split it in half first. So now I have 1, 2 rows, and then I'm going to split this one in half again. So see how those aren't even though? But when I divide this one, I'll get 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows. So I have 4 rows, and my question says, how many equal shares do I have? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal shares. Okay, let's look at our next one. Our next one says, divide this rectangle into 2 equal parts by making 2 columns. So they want 2 equal parts, and they want 2 columns. Remember, columns are vertical. So if I want 2 columns, boys and girls, we're just going to put 1 line in the middle, because now I have 1 column, 2 columns. Okay, because columns are vertical. So they say, how many halves do I have? Well, we have 1 half and 1 half, so we have 2 halves. We also could say we have 2 equal shares. Okay, boys and girls, have a wonderful day, and we'll keep practicing this later. Bye-bye.